It is an absolute pleasure to be having our first South Asian Heritage Month and to have such a star and, well, part of our heritage, Channi Singh OBE, with us today. He's a fantastic friend of the Asian Fire Service Association, and I knew that he respected us. But yesterday, when we were setting this call up, his daughter, without hesitation, told us about the Asian Fire Service Association and how proud he is of it with his association with us. I don't need to introduce him any further, so we're going to go straight into the first question, which is, I know, Channi Singh, from yesterday, that you were born in the Punjab in India. Talk us through your background and your early days in India before you came to the UK.
Well, I like you said, I'm born in Punjab. It's near Ludhiana, Malerkotla, in that, area. It's called Salar. I come from a village background. And you know what happens in villages, everything, all the greenery, everything. And this is where I come from. And then I studied in Government College Malerkotla, my primary education in my village Salar. Then I did my graduation from Government College Malerkotla, which was under Punjabi University. Then I did my Masters of English Literature degree from DAV College, Jalandhar. And then,
thank you. Go
ahead.
No, thank you for that. So, I mean, today is about the celebration of our culture and our background. Yeah. What do you look back on fondness about celebrating of that period of time for our culture in Punjab, in India, when you were growing up?
Well, I always was very, very happy and proud that what we are, what we are doing there and what, we are made for. And, our culture is something really special. And, where I come from, and I'm proud of my ancestors, what they have done for our culture. And similarly, what they have taught to us, taught to me, my parents, they taught to me, to help people. Yeah. And to be very humble. And, so all those things, what they taught me, I carry them with me. Myself.
Let me try to prompt you a little bit. So, AFSA famous Indian proverb, Punjabi proverb, is never let your mustache outgrow your beard, which basically means never let your pride get in the way. Don't have too much of an ego. So from your days in India, tell us a couple of proverbs or things your grandmother or your mother used to say to you, you tell your children now.
Yeah, my mother and my granny, my grandmother Beji, I used to call, they always told me that, mithat nimi nanka gun chingaiyan tat, meaning ke nima reh ke matlab ke thon chalna chahiye, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਗੁਣ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਪਲੱਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਫਲ ਨੀਵਿਆਂ ਰੁੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸਿਮਲਾ ਤੋਂ ਮਾਣ ਨਾ ਕਰੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੀਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਝੁਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਲ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਝੁਕਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਫਲ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਨੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਟਾਹਣੀ ਥੱਲੇ ਝੁਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਬਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਮਤਲਬ you should always be humble, down to earth, and you shouldn't be show off. You should be genuinely humble. Yeah, and the time comes when people will start judging if you are just showing off, and they will come to know in the end.
Absolutely great translation from Punjabi to English about humbleness and not letting your ego grow too big. So just give us one more lesson about India and growing up or university, something funny you remember or something that inspired you before we bring you to the UK.
Well, not funny, but I started my little singing, when I was in my first class. So, कहने पक्की class, पहली पक्की, पक्की class कहने सी. So I used to sing a song, from film Nagin.
Let's have the song. Let's have 2 or 3 lines of the song because we do want to hear you sing as we go along, but not the full song we know, but 2 or 3 lines.
I don't even remember the tune, but if that was मन डोले मेरा तन डोले मेरे दिल का गया करार रे कौन बजाए बांसुरिया. That and my teacher used to say to me, Channi, I'll give you 1 paisa. Please sing that song.
Oh,
So
wow.
this he used to give me one little paise ho to chalde hunde sige.
Hanji, yeah,
So
yeah,
then I used to sing that song. Then as I grew up, and then in my school life, I started singing, and then in my college life, I won many competitions, singing, bhangra, and even not many people know, even wrestling.
yes,
I was a bantamweight and a flyweight wrestler, and inter-university, on level that, champion as well. And so in my college life, I did so many programs, small and big. People used to call me on their weddings. I used to play tumbi as well when,
yeah,
I used to have a turban and even tad sarangi, with the
yeah,
tadi nahi gaande hunde.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Those,
Hanji,
yeah, they used to take me. I still have got the photographs with
yeah,
me. And then uh, when I was when I won many competitions in wrestling as well, my principal used to say to me when they were giving, those colors you put it on your
yeah,
blazers,
yeah,
like Punjabi University wrestling or whatever. He used to say, what a combination. One is so soft, singing and
yeah,
dancing, and the other one so hard. How do you do it?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was all blessing, and it came from my family, my parents.
So, Channi Singh, I mean, I've learned so much already from you. You
Mm.
know that my relative is Malkeet Singh. We knew when
Mm.
Malkeet Singh came from India, he'd won a number of
Mm.
Golden Awards in universities. I didn't realize that you'd won so many awards for your singing in India before you came to the UK.
Yeah,
So,
but I was
to
not a
link
professional. Yeah,
yeah, but to
yeah,
link the two,
yeah,
did you have, when you came to the UK,
yeah.
what was your hopes and aspirations as you landed? Did you fly across or how did you get here?
No, actually, I finished my study in 74,
Yeah,
73, 74. And after that, I worked in a bank as well. I wanted to be a lecturer, but the
mhm,
time came, when I was going to go abroad in Germany. So I was in Delhi going to Germany, and suddenly I have a call from Punjab, from my father's Mamaji. He was a brigadier in the army. So
excellent.
yeah, so they call me, my mom, dad. They call me that somebody has come from England,
Right.
and you come back. They
Yeah.
they want to see you.
Yeah.
So
I know what's coming next. Go, but tell the story.
yeah. So I came back to Ludhiana,
Yeah.
and after a few days, we met with my mom, dad, my sister. We went to my wife's
Yeah.
Tayaji's house,
Yeah. Yeah.
where my wife and her parents, they were there. So we went to see them, and you will not believe, and on the very first look, um, she came to give us tea, and her hands were shaking like anything, and she put the plate and cup on the table, and she was just like I said, the
Yeah.
there was a little noise of the cups and plates because her hands were
Yeah.
shaking, and she ran after she put the cups and plates on the table, with the tea. She ran in the other home, other house, sorry, other part of the house, and her cousin was there, and they started laughing, uchi uchi,
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I looked her first, through the mirror when she was coming to give us the tea, and then internally, I was very happy that
Yeah.
she was wonderful.
So, how many years you been married now then, Channi Singh?
As you can guess,
Okay, leave it. Let's all I was going to say was in 1978, I
70.
too, I too had the same experience. And I knew then that my
Yeah.
wife was too good for me. And everybody reminds me of that even to this day. And
Yeah, and when we came out of the
yeah,
house, after the meeting, and my sister, she asked me, brother, kidan lagi? I
I
said,
did.
very nice, पर कमली लगती है.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But
She's
my
mad.
point here is that
And well,
the
yeah, go
point I
ahead.
would like to make here is there are people on this call that probably have never spoken to, talked to somebody with an arranged marriage. There are a
Right.
number of people on here with arranged marriages. You tell us about your long-lasting love and your long-lasting marriage to somebody that you'd never met before that was introduced to you, and the power of the arranged marriage in Punjab and how it works.
Yeah, I think, most of the arranged marriages, they worked very, very well, and my experience, I have looked into my family, my friend circle and my relative circle, all in those days were arranged marriages. Very few were, I don't think any love marriages happened, but they happened on a very rare cases.
There was a good reason why love marriages happened. We weren't allowed to meet any women.
Yeah.
So let me just ask members on this page.
Yeah.
I've got Philip Bassi, Mohammed Yogi, Dalvinder Rai. They're
Yeah.
monitoring the chat line. We
Okay.
would invite you to post your questions and they will read them out or invite you to ask the question. It's
Yeah.
difficult for me to monitor the chat as well as do the interview. Please interrupt us. You're not eavesdropping on a conversation, you're part of the conversation. So, Channi Singh, can you tell us then about UK, coming to England and your experience here?
Yeah, when we got married, in 75, we got married. And then she stayed, my missus stayed in my village. And 3-4 times in 1 year, she came back to England, then back to Punjab. She done every single thing what a village girl does. Although she had never visited India before, but she created such a good impression on all the village ladies that they used to come to our house every day. There was a meeting. They used to laugh, and Tanno used to started calling her Tanno. Her name is Dhanwant.
Yeah.
And Tanno pyar de naal, with love, I started calling her Tanno. And Tanno was an example for all these ladies. All these ladies used to say, a girl from England that never been to a village is doing such things, which they never expected. She done chulech fuka marniya,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she done all the stove. She done all the, you have cows and
Okay,
buffalo.
you prompted me to ask you another question.
Oh,
What is your wife's favorite song from the early days? So sing us a few lines from your wife's favorite song.
oh, good Lord. When we got married, I don't remember that song actually, to be honest. It was a Mehndi Hassan song. She loved that, and I recorded that song. Yeah? No. It was. It will come to me. I'll sing
Okay,
later.
when it comes to you, come back then. I mean,
Yeah.
what if she said to you now,
Yeah.
please sing me a song? I'm finding it difficult to sleep. What would you sing her now? Something
I
you can remember.
Yeah. I'll sing. तेरी चुन्नी दे सितारे जिवे अंबरां दे तारे ਪੈਂਦਾ ਲਸ਼ਕਾਰਾ ਸਤ ਰੰਗ ਵਰਗਾ ਨੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਮੋਲਿਆ ਹੈ ਨੀ ਮੋਲਿਆ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਮੋਲਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਸੋਨੇ ਜਿਹੀ ਵੰਗ ਵਰਗਾ ਨੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਮੋਲਿਆ. Then I wrote one
Beautiful.
other song, which
Yeah.
was ਇੱਕ ਕੁੜੀ ਗੁਲਾਬ ਦੇ ਫੁੱਲ ਵਰਗੀ ਮੇਰੇ
Go on,
ਕੰਨ
do that
ਵਿੱਚ.
as well. Go on, do that as well. While we're on songs, do that for us as well.
Yeah, that I wrote on Tanno,
Yeah.
that was ਇੱਕ ਕੁੜੀ ਗੁਲਾਬ ਦੇ ਫੁੱਲ ਵਰਗੀ मेरे कन विच ए गल कह गई, एक कुड़ी गुलाब दे फुल वर्गी, मेरे कन विच ए गल कह गई, हो मैं तेनू प्यार करां, हो दिल मैनू सार करां, हो दिल मैनू सार करां, तेनू प्यार करां, एह कह के जिंद मेरी लै गई, लै गई, लै गई, एक कुड़ी गुलाब दे फुल वर्गी, मेरे कन विच ए गल कह गई.
Channi Singh, people say that Punjabi is such a crude language and yet such beautiful words, that beautiful song. Please, for our colleagues from the UK who don't understand Punjabi, translate that last song in a few words.
Yeah, एक कुड़ी गुलाब दे फुल वर्गी, गुलाब दा full is rose, you know. So I am comparing my missus to a flower of rose flower, you know. So and then मेरे कान च आके उन्हें कुछ कहा, in my ear she said something, so that was that, you know, I love you very much, I love you very. When she said that, you know, I just lost myself, and like, you know, my life is gone forever towards her. Yeah,
Super.
this is yeah.
Fantastic. But it didn't translate as beautifully as it was spoken and sung by Channi Singh.
Yeah.
So tell us about your early time in London.
Came to this country, you know, I saw that our youngsters, they were not listening to our Punjabi songs in their cars or something, and this is all Western or other kind of music, you know. So the idea came to my mind that, you know, if I do something so that they could identify themselves with such kind of words or music, that'll be fantastic. So that was, you know, that idea was just revolving in my mind. So this is how you know, I wanted to do something, and suddenly, you know, I met a couple of guys. You know, I was singing in their house when I had come from India. So we went to their home, and they had a little party going on. So my sister-in-law was there as well. So she said, you know, my brother-in-law has come from India, and you know, can he sing a song? So they said, yes, yes, yes. So I sang one Punjabi song there, and they said, one more, one more, one more. So, you know, your Jijaji sings very nice, you know. So this is how it happened. And then there were those couple of guys, one of them was singing and the other one was playing guitar. So they came to me later, you know, Channi, you want to do something? So I said, yes, this is my wish, you know, that if you play guitar with me or you play harmonium with me, so maybe we could do something. So we made you know, this 3-4 guys together and start singing Gurbani Shabads initially. You know, this is how it started from Sri Gurudwara Sahib to. So then from there we went to house parties, small house parties. From there to polytech colleges, universities, and then we became five of us, and this is how it grew up from here. And then, you know, I thought, you know, that yes, there is Punjabi music already. There's a Punjabi culture already in this country, but not that, you know, the youngsters could identify themselves with.
Yeah.
So I wrote like Teri Chuni De Stare, simple but effective loves, which were very easy to understand. Uh, and they were respectful words.
So in those early days, what was it that lifted Bhangra out of the pubs and the universities? Because I know for one thing that I would have got a better degree, better A-level results if it wasn't for people like you doing daytime discos.
Daytime discos came later, you know, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when we made our first record, Teri Chuni De Stare.
Yeah.
You know,
Sing that for us, because that's a famous song.
I did.
Oh, sorry. That was your first hit with Alap, was it?
Yeah. All is alap. Alap is
Yeah, yeah,
that's me sitting here.
yeah,
Yeah. So this is I founded alap,
yeah,
and
yeah.
with my friends as well.
And are they
So
still around with you, or do you still do shows with Alap?
no, one of my keyboard player, he went up,
Yeah,
and my guitarist, he's not with me because of some personal
yeah,
things, and I have a new band, that.
yeah. Yes, we do. Yeah,
Yeah, but there are a couple of my old musicians. They're still with me,
yeah.
along with a few new members as well. So we are 7, 8, 9 sometimes,
Who
So
who was it, Channi Singh, that christened you the grandfather of Bhangra? Who's accredited with that name?
I think it was MTV.
MTV. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, Godfather of Bhangra. Yes, it
yeah,
was MTV. Yeah, and because the recognition of Punjabi music was not there
yeah,
before we came on the scene. That was very limited to mostly villages and our Punjabis
yeah.
around the world. But the when we came on the scene, when my first album came, and then Pabiye Ne Pabiye came, after Pabiye Ne Pabiye, it went to all the communities. You name,
Yes,
Hindu, Sikhs, Muslim, Gujaratis, Parsis, even English, which the people who never knew what Punjabi music was. And
yeah.
this is why, they called me the Godfather.
I've got a couple of questions written down because I'm still waiting for interruptions. I haven't got any. So tell us, what is your most favorite song, number one? And two, what was your favorite venue that you sang at? Favorite song, favorite venue, and why?
Oh, good Lord. This is a difficult question. All songs are very good. My favorite is Teri Chuni De Stare,
Yeah,
that Jind Mahi, then Kudi Gulab De Fulvargi,
yeah.
then Mainu Chudiyaan Chada De Chanve, Main Cham Cham Nachdi Firan, Pabiye Ni Pabiye. So there are so many other songs, but these
So sing
songs.
us one of those that you haven't sung so far before we go to venue.
Okay. Uh, the very first song any Bhangra singer performed with the legendary Asha Bhosle ji,
Yeah.
the Bollywood, the queen of Bollywood singing, star. So that is ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੂੜੀਆਂ ਚੜਾ ਦੇ ਚੰਨ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਛਮ ਛਮ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਵੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੂੜੀਆਂ ਚੜਾ ਦੇ ਚੰਨ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਛਮ ਛਮ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਸੂਟ ਸਵਾ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੂਟੀਆਂ ਪਵਾ ਦੇ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਚ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਛਮ ਛਮ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਉਹ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਰਾਣੀ ਮੈਂ ਬਣਾ ਦਊਂਗਾ ਉਹ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਰਾਣੀ ਮੈਂ ਬਣਾ ਦਊਂਗਾ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿੰਦ ਜਾਨ ਬਲੀਏ ਤਾਰੇ ਤੋੜੇ ਅੰਬਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੂਟ ਤੇ ਸਜਾ ਦਿਆਂ ਲੱਗੇ ਤੂੰ ਰਕਾਨ ਬੱਲੀਏ ਹਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿੰਦ ਜਾਨ ਬੱਲੀਏ ਵੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੂੜੀਆਂ ਚੜਾ ਦੇ ਚੰਨ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਛਮ ਛਮ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ
I feel like dancing already.
that was for the very first time
Yeah,
any Punjabi singer collaborated with
yeah.
the Bollywood singing queen Asha Bhosle.
You must be frustrated sitting there talking to me, thinking I've never seen Jagtar sit down at any of my when I've been singing. The first time ever.
Yeah,
JS.
always dancing.
Yeah. So I was going to ask JS to translate that
Yeah.
last song. You want to translate that last
Well,
song?
listen. As somebody said, his songs don't need any translation. I tell you,
Yeah.
Channi stops. But Channi, so where did the name Alap come from, and who was your inspiration?
Good point.
मेरी inspiration थे ए सिगी के के to be honest my inspiration was Rafi Sahab and Mahendra Kapoor Sahab ये दो मेरी, you know, when I was in my college, you know, जिथे मेरा पिंड है ना, where my village is, there is a about 250 feet or 300 feet canal, Nair. So you used to go at night in, you know, star-studded night, go there, sing, and the echo came out of that, you know, water and at night. And I used to feel, you know, I, 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 I sing like Rafi Sahab. You know, all the Rafi Sahab, you know, I can't, you know, imagine to be Rafi Sahab or Mendat Kapoor Sahab. But I felt, you know, that vibe for that, you know, and I used to sing their songs, you know, when I was in my college life as well. So I started with the Urdu ghazals as well, Urdu and Hindi songs. You know, I sang Kishore ji song, Rafi Sahab song ji,
Well,
apne
you know, Channi, you have
Mehndi Sahab
something
as
in
well.
common with Rafi, you know, because Rafi was a bus driver in Ludhiana.
Was he? Oh, I didn't know
Yes,
about that.
he was a bus driver in Ludhiana and he got picked up at a
Oh
very
my
early
goodness.
age.
Super.
That's
So
a
what?
news
And
to me.
where did the lap come from, the name?
What name? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, once we were going in the van, and I said, you know, let us put, you know, let's give a name to the band. And, you know, a couple of my members said, okay, what would you suggest? And I said, A, A,
Yeah.
A is the first letter. And then alap. Alap means, you know, the introduction to the classical notes of anything, and being the leader. So everybody said, okay, 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 okay. So this is how the,
Super inspiration.
yeah, you know, when we went to Kenya, actually, Bomas of Kenya, that was one of my favorite venue. And then we went to Madison Square Garden. That was my favorite venue. Here, Royal Albert Hall, and
Fantastic.
Wembley Conference Center. Even in Wembley Arena, you know, I backed. It was a Shah Rukh Khan's show. I was on stage as well. That was one of my, and Empire Ballrooms, where actually Empire Ballrooms, where no other Asian artists were ever allowed to play in central London. We were the first band, you know, who played there, and we are the first band who broke ice in those venues where no Asian bands had ever dreamt of playing, even in
And that's
Pakistan, even in Pakistan. So we became the very first British Asian band to perform in Lahore.
So that's the purpose of today. So is to celebrate our heritage, to acknowledge that everybody here, the younger members, stand on the shoulders of giants. You are a giant of a man, and what you've provided for the youngsters coming through is inspiration and hope that they too may perform at one of those many venues that you've been fortunate to perform at.
Luckily, we have performed, I think, almost the biggest venues around the world, and I am not hesitating to say that, you know, we paved the way for other generations to come into this field, and proud our culture, make our culture proud. You know, I'm very proud of our culture. This is why Mona, she used to sit with us, and in our rehearsals. So she got inspired. Similarly, many artists got inspired by our band.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Hello, Sat Sri Akal, Channi ji. My question to you is, well, if I just want to thank you first of all. You talked about during young people's youth, people not necessarily having music that was Punjabi that we could identify with. And I think I was one of those people who benefited from your songs. Both my Nanake and my Dadake really favoured your songs. The family in Kenya really, really valued your songs. And I remember singing, dancing and listening to your music as a child. And for me, my Punjabi, not only because of the extended family, but was very enriched because we were proud to sing and proud to identify with our culture. I have two boys now, and the eldest one in particular is very, very keen on singing. But everywhere he goes, he sings in either the school choir or those sorts of institutions, which are not about our own heritage. I take him to the Gurdwara so that he can sort of learn musical instruments, etc. there. But what would your advice be if to a mum like me who doesn't know very much about music, but is proud of her heritage and wants to ensure that the children continue with learning Punjabi? And if you've got a talented child, which I believe I have, in terms of every parent thinks they've got a talented child. I appreciate that.
Yeah, everybody has a talent.
I think one in particular is very strong with singing. I don't know how to encourage him to sing Punjabi songs. What would your advice be?
It's a very difficult question, actually. I think, if, like, my daughter, she is born and brought up here.
Yes.
And now she speaks quite fluent Punjabi. She has learned how to write Punjabi, how to read Punjabi, and even she reads Gurbani as well.
Good.
Mona can read Gurbani as well. So what I would say, definitely, create some interest in him, that, you are Punjabi and your family, you value, Punjabi culture. So I think there should be some way to inspire, which I don't know.
I think the music
is the best language, actually.
Yeah. So actually, he loves listening to Punjabi music, and because if you value music, you learn quite a lot from it. But I wouldn't even know where to take him other than the Gurdwara. So he's learning the tabla, etc. But I don't know.
Okay. I understand your question now. Yeah. Which area?
Birmingham.
Birmingham. Yeah. I think if you start with a teacher who teaches, don't go to too much classical, because it takes too long and it's very difficult. If somebody is there to start teaching a light kind of music, from the basics on a harmonium or so, that'll be the best thing to start with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the songs, which should be with very light-hearted songs. They shouldn't be
Excellent advice.
He listens to the current music, but he also listens to Alap. It's a Alap and Mulkeet Singh prerequisite in our house.
So you can ask him to call me one day.
Okay, it's absolutely great advice. Randy, I'm sure there'll be people here who live in Birmingham, around Birmingham, might be able to offer you some advice. So Bal and then Raji. Bal, Clay.
Yeah, thanks, Jag. Channi, it's been brilliant so far. I'll make a request first. I don't think we're going to let you go before you give us a few lines of Pabbi.
Oh, good.
Right. So bear that in mind before you do leave us this evening.
Okay.
The question I do have is when you first came to the UK.
Yeah.
You want to make start a life. You're an aspiring artist. What were some of the challenges and barriers actually that you may have faced at the time, and how did you sort of overcome them?
I didn't face any barriers or challenges. The challenge was that only one challenge was that it was difficult to produce an album at that time, and spending money. And the other challenge, when we made our first album, the album, we gave it to a distributor to sell, Teri Chuni Destare, and after 3 months it comes back to us, it's not, we are not able to sell it. So that was one of the biggest challenges, that this is such a beautiful thing, and the people are not getting hold of our album, and it's not being sold by the distributors as well. So then suddenly what happened, I had an interview on London LBC radio. So they interviewed me, they played this Teri Chung De Stare, they took my telephone number, announced it. So this is how people started knowing our music. So that was one challenge. The other challenge was, internal challenge, how to write simple but effective and melodious numbers so that, they are remembered for long life. That was my biggest challenge. And I had to think, when I was writing my songs, because 99% or 90% songs, what you hear, they're all composed by myself and written by myself. 99% songs are written by myself. So,
and that's a real good note about. Channi Singh has joined us today when he's in the middle of producing some songs for a film, and he's taken time out to join us. So Raji, and then I'm going to ask Mona to join Channi in singing us a song.
Raji.
Yeah, I've got two small questions. One is on a personal level. How often do you go back to India, like Malerkotla?
Oh, it has been 2 years now. My wife has a foundation. It's called Kar Seva Foundation. Kar Seva.
Tell us, that's a really good question. So I want Channi ji to tell us about your charity work and your wife's charity work, because we as AFSA love supporting you. So tell us a bit about that. Great question.
Yeah, so Bel's question I'm answering. Well, for last 13 years, she goes to Punjab and she started this foundation. She does free eye camps, free hearing aid, glasses, free TB da ilaj, and people who can't walk, have problems walking, and they have lost their legs or something. She provides them handridden tricycles, and last year she started a fresh water plant. Yeah. So I travel with her sometimes, and sometimes Mona goes with my missus. But before that, it was, I think, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, like that. I used to go to Malerkotla and to my village. And when I went to my village, I used to pick that mitti of, where we used to go to school from the road, and take it in my hand, and I had tears in my eyes. Look, this is where we used to walk, with all the big cholas,
Yes.
all the books in our bags, 2 miles walking to the school, 2 miles coming. So this is that's amazing feeling, when you travel there. So it was quite often, quite regular. But sometime it takes you 3-4 years as well.
Yeah.
Now.
What about your charity work in the UK? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I run a center where we have about 35 to 50 meals every day to homebound people who can't come out of their homes, people have chronic illnesses, people suffer with depression and mental illnesses, and they are very frail, disabled, widowers. So that is my service. Even during this COVID-19, we have not stopped. We have served, although we stopped people coming to the center, because we have a luncheon club there as well. So, but the other deliveries we have not stopped. But my volunteers stopped coming because they were all shielding. So, but what Mona did, my daughter, she organized all the young volunteers who take meals to them, these days. So that I have been doing for last since '89. Yeah.
So Mona, come on in, please. Sing the song, and then I've got a couple of questions for you.
Who, Mona?
Yeah. Is she there? Or has she gone for a dinner?
No, Mona will. I can sing the Pabine Pabi for you.
Yeah, you could do that first.
And then Mona can join in. Hai
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Actually, this song created the new era in Punjabi music in whole of the world. I sang this song for the very first time on Doordarshan in India, and it became super duper hit everywhere, and it still is, you know that.
Still is.
Yeah, so all my friends, if you can join hands. So it is ni pabiye ni son pabiye ni
Go on,
pabiye
JS, accompany.
pabiye nikka deor tera bada ni pyara ni saag tu kara de pabiye koi pekiyan ta naram patola ni lab ke le a de pabiye brua pabiye ni son pabiye ni son pabiye.
Brilliant.
Great song. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi, Mona. Tell us about your pride of your dad and your heritage.
Well, I have to say, I've grown up obviously with my dad's music, with the band, and from a very young age, that's how I've been inspired. And I am very proud of his achievements. He actually forgets how much he's achieved, and I always have to remind him, Papa, you've forgotten this, because he has achieved so much. And he is a very down-to-earth, very humble person. And you know, what he's done for Punjabi culture, for Punjabi music, for people like me who he's inspired, you can't really put it into words. So I'm very proud of him.
So how would you talk about your great pride of being Punjabi, but also being born in this country? How have you brought the two together?
Well, yeah, I'm born in this country. I've been brought up in this country. But like I said, from the day I started school, I didn't even know a word of English. You know, my mom taught me one word of English that when I'm at school, the only sentence I knew was, I need to use the toilet. Otherwise, all we knew was Punjabi. And that was, my grandparents really encouraged that we spoke in Punjabi. And at home, we used to speak mixed English Punjabi as well. And I've always been brought up, you know, knowing we go to the Gurdwara regularly. You know, I know about our culture, I know about our religion, I know about other communities. And I've always taken a great interest in that. And for me, I mean, I am a British Asian, and I have a modern kind of outlook, but my values inside are quite traditional. And when I remember, you know, coming back from college one day, and I've always played a very active part during my education, my school life, my college life in music. So any performances that would happen, all the teachers used to say, Mona, you're gonna, you know, lead this program. So any performances or any kind of exhibitions or anything like that, I was always the lead. And I remember coming back from college one day, I said to my mum and dad, I want to sit down and speak to you. I've decided I want to make an album. And they said to me, oh, okay, you know, that's good. So they assumed that I wanted to sing in English. And I said, no, I want to make a Punjabi album. And they were actually taken aback that, you know, I've studied here, my friend circle, etc., that, you know, maybe that's the line I want to go down. But I said, no, I want to continue what my dad started. You know, he came here and he set up this band to bring youngsters to their cultural roots, or give them something to identify with through music. And he put modern Punjabi music on the map around the world through what he's done. And I said, I want to continue that. And also being a female, I felt that was really important as well, because at the time when I made my first album, there weren't, I mean, even now, there are not very many British Asian female singers. There are quite a lot in Punjab, but in this country, there's very few. And I wanted to do something that I'm proud of. So, you know, all my albums that I've released 3 albums, I've released a number of singles, and also in films.
So which is your favorite single, or which that you would like to sing to us?
Oh, really? Which I would like to sing to you. I will sing, my latest one that came out was Kokka Silverda. And
who wrote the song?
Yeah, my dad wrote the song. Yeah,
Super.
Yeah, my dad wrote the song, and we worked together in the studio. At the back of our house, we've converted we've got a recording studio, and we compose together. We record together, so we work very closely together.
We fight as well.
He said we fight as well.
I doubt it very much.
We do actually. We have creative disagreements, and then in the end, I always win.
Well, women always win. I can't say any more than that. Okay, singers. Have you ever sung a song with your dad?
Do you know, we've sung on stage together, but we've never recorded a duet together. Okay. And that is something we would like to do. But there's been so many different projects on the go. We've never got around to doing it, but that is something that we would like to do. I'll sing a few lines. So this is Kokka Silverda. देसी नक विच गल्लां इंग्लिश करदा ए चन्न नालों ज्यादा सोना लिश लिश करदा ए चक्करां च पाई जांदा नींदरां उड़ाई जांदा चैन चुराई जांदा दिल भरदा निको का सिल्वर दा माही कहंदा वेरी मच जचदा निको का सिल्वर दा नक विच तेरे बड़ा सजदा निको का सिल्वर दा. You got my dad's clapping in the back.
You got some people moving. There were shoulders moving there. There was hands waving.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I've grown up listening to a lot. They used to come into the house. We used to have rehearsals every Tuesday night, every Thursday night. This is when I was a 3-year-old. I actually sung my first, I didn't know the lyrics, but I hummed the whole tune of Gidde Andi Rani. That was my first song. And
can you sing that? Gidde Andi Rani is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
go on.
I don't remember the lyrics, but that song I used to sing with the band. And then I used to sing with Alap on stage. So when they used to do concerts, I was a 6-year-old. I did my first performance at Acton Town Hall with Alap, a full 10-piece band. And then I did a performance at Empire Ballroom. I've got photos. I was the only under 18 there, and I had my own security guards because you weren't allowed to be in that premises unless you were over 18. I've performed there a number of times at Hammersmith Palais and all under the age.
So you're going to beat your dad in. I'm not going to ask you the question. Your favorite venue? You've already been there.
No, but I've performed with a lot from a very young age. So super. I've always been surrounded by that live feel.
Mona, I know it's you that's got the dinner date. So yes. I want to make sure.
Actually, no, he has as well.
Well, no, he's the driver, you told me. He's a chauffeur. Don't you try to con me.
He's the driver. And
Dad's going to drive you there and bring you back. So, Andy, a question from you.
I want to just thank you for being one of the pioneers of Bhangra. I remember my time in England very well. And Alap, Hira, Apna Sangeet, those 3 groups were the pioneers, and the songs that they sang and the way they brought our culture to the masses. It was so fantastic. And I remember the early days when we had wedding receptions, all we'd do is play a lot, one cassette, and it would last the whole evening, repeat and repeat. And the people would not stop dancing. That's how enthusiastic we were to see our culture at the forefront. And our young people these days, although they have a lot more sophistication with the electronics, I don't think that original sound that you had that was so natural, so inspiring, can be reproduced by electronics, because what you have is passion. And that's what really got me, is that the passion of the young people was so much. And Alap, Channi, thank you so much for what you've done for Bhangra.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just wait, maybe in next few months, you will hear more from us, both of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I remember seeing you guys so much in Derby.
I'd like to now invite our chair, Dalvinder Rai, chair of the Asian Fire Service Association, to do a bit of a summary, maybe ask a question. Dalvinder, are you ready?
Sorry, what? Yeah, no.
Dalvinder, our Kursi, would like to say a few words.
No, I've got to say, what an inspiration both of you are. You're both fantastic. So I remember weddings and parties and stuff when I was younger, listening to Alap and Channi sing all the time. My favourite song has to be Teri Chunni De Sitare. I've got to say, that is one of my favourite songs. And to hear you play that last year at the AFSA conference in Hampshire was fantastic. But honestly, you've got to say, this is brilliant. This is the first time we've done this, I think, online, but fantastic. Thank you so much. And Mona, from what you said, there isn't many female artists in the UK. from what I never thought of that before, because I know we look at not many Asian BAME staff in the fire service and NHS and stuff. But now, if you think about it, actually, I was thinking about it, I don't think there's anyone hardly in the UK, is it? So well done for you for raising awareness around that. So yeah, thank you.
And also, Channi ji, you are the only man, the only Bhangra star to make John Barnes do Bhangra.
Yes.
Remember in Hampshire, John Barnes, the footballer, was doing Bhangra to you, and he was loving every minute, and that's what helped Liverpool win the cup this year. They would never have won it without the inspiration from you from last year's AFSA AGM.
No. Tell John.
I will.
No, he was saying highway.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think, just one thing I also want to mention is that when ALAP started back in the late 70s, when the album came out in the early 80s, England wasn't a multicultural society as it is today. So that in itself was a big achievement. I mean, they were invited by UB40 to perform at Birmingham Football Stadium with the likes of Robert Palmer, Peter Gabriel, the Pogues. ALAP was representing Indian music, Indian culture, and they've achieved so much. But like you say, if you look at today's the youngsters, the music that's coming out, there's music I listen to, I can't relate to it because that's not the music, that's not Punjabi music to me. So I mean, my dad's style of music has always been sophisticated, melodious Punjabi music. You can listen to it with the group, with your family. The lyrics are respectful, the videos are respectful, the music compositions are evergreen, and that's what I grew up with. So that for me is like, I'm not just going to bring out music just for the sake of saying, oh, you haven't released anything for a little while. It has to be something that is quality and that's going to last in people's minds. And I think that's the same with ALAP. If you listen to ALAP's music, it's never old, it's forever,
Mona, what a great summary of...
Yeah, I want to just go ahead one more thing, which I forgot. Because of our, my songs, Punjabi songs, the music, Punjabi music became a very big part of the Indian Bollywood movies. Film Dil. Mujhe neend na aaye, chain na aaye, gaana suna na? Mujhe neend na aaye, mujhe chain, that's my song, which is वो चुन्नी उड़ी उड़ जाए गुत खुल खुल जाए मुंह बदो बदी निकल जाए कुड़ी नु रब्बा की हो गया कुड़ी नु यारो की हो गया. So that's
not only one. There's been a number of songs that have been
stolen into movies,
Bollywood, and they've plagiarized basically. But
and then
every song now in Bollywood, there's not one Bollywood film without a Punjabi song in there.
Yes.
And if you take it back to where it originated from, it is from ALAP, because they put, like I said, modern Bhangra music on.
Mona, I would like to say that not only did Channi ji bring Bhangra to Britain, he sold Bhangra back to the Indians. It's a bit like chicken tikka masala is a British dish that's sold back in India. Also, he took it worldwide. Bhangra is now worldwide. It is not just something some young boys from India invented.
I have to say another thing. I mean, they celebrated a big milestone, 40 years of ALAP. A couple of years ago, and we never got a chance to celebrate that properly, which we're still trying to organize. But if you see ALAP performing now on stage, you probably have, but as a full band, and you see my dad, I won't disclose his age, but he can do a 3-hour performance on stage and he gives it everything,
We know.
You watch him and I stand there sometimes because I love dancing and I'm dancing away, enjoying the music. Then I just stop and I look on stage and I'm like, that's my dad, he rocks, he's like...
Mona, I would like to add to your comment about your dad, is an inspiration, he's man of values, he is our icon. When he comes to Bedford, we have a little restaurant of 100 people. He performs phenomenally, and then at the end of the night, when he's told me he's got another function to go to, we're trying to kick him out of the door, and he's going around shaking everybody's hand, having his photograph taken. What a man of values! We've even asked I mean, you know, Rupi escorts him to the car to make sure he's safe because he's that late at night.
No, this is everywhere we go. I mean, like I said, he's so down to earth. He will take out the time, you know, because it's a mutual respect you have. People, because of people's love, that's why you're here. You know, that's why he's where he is, and we appreciate that and we value that. So values are very important to us as a family. I mean, we're just a small family. I'm an only child. It's me, my mum, and my dad. It's the three of us, and we are a very close family. And what you see is what you get, basically.
So Mona, remember the next time you have a musical disagreement, he is the grandfather of Bhangra, and he's always right. And he's the one that's going to write the songs. He's the one that writes the check for your new car.
No, like
so
you
just
said,
remember that.
Like you said, you know, there are a couple of movies we are doing. I've done about 6, 7 already, you know, as a music director, Bollywood movies. So there are a couple of now, you know, so I always consult with her, Mona, shall I do like this? Shall I do like this? You know, this composition is right or not? This wording is right or not? So she gives me a lot of suggestions. So she is my grandmother.
Well, we're gonna adopt Mona as AFSA, as one of our sisters, one of our fellow members, so that if Mona ever wishes to seek our support for anything she wants, whether it's charity work or whether it's she's looking to support young musicians in India. Let's see how we can support each other. You've stayed on longer than 30. You were due to do 45 minutes. As always, you've lasted that commitment. I don't want to make you starve, so I'm going to leave the last few words with you. And when you finish, I will ask other people to just come in.
Yeah. Thank you so much, you know, all the panel, you know, all my friends and sisters, you know, so much, you know, I humbly thank all of you to listen to us and share, you know, all the question and answers with us. And thank you all the listeners and whoever is watching now, you know, my sincere and humble thanks.